get set. We're riding on the
Clueless
internet, cyberspace, set free. Hello, virtual reality.
Interactive appetite, searching for a website, a window to the world, got to get online.
Take a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the
Clueless
internet.
Just trying to think of what to say. Let me know when you're ready.
You can go whenever.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of the Clueless Internet podcast. I'm your host, Alex. I'm joined once again by my wonderful co-host, Howard.
Willkommen.
Are you ready, Howard, for another week of facts, fakes, and fuck-ups
I
that I've
am.
gathered from across a wide range of the internet, I promise.
The red.
just read it.
It is the internet.
The whole of it, and not just a very small portion that I've cherry-picked these stories from. Well, without further ado, let's get into it, into our first section. Today I learned.
Now I got tea in my mustache.
Sit down and shut up.
Today, I
Shut up.
shut up. I learned.
Sit down. Be quiet. Shut up.
All right, Howard, welcome to our first section. Today I learned. Are you ready to learn a few things?
I'm always ready to learn.
If you've never joined us before, this is a section where I've gathered 4 stories from Reddit itself, from the Today I Learned section. And first one is Today I Learned not to keep pictures.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. No, people may have heard of this. It's relatively recent. It's a story about Cormega Copening
That's a cool name.
of Fayetteville,
What with a
North
what now?
Carolina. He was 17, 21 now. This article was written in 2015, so he's 21 now.
Who's
just
this?
For clarity, it is Cormega Copening.
That's
Awesome
a boss name.
He was found with underage nude pictures on
Okay,
his phone.
kill him.
He was prosecuted as an adult under federal child pornography felony laws for sexually exploiting a minor. Copening was charged with 4 accounts of making and possessing images and 1 count of possessing a naked image. Just a naked image.
Just an image with
That
no
had
clothes
nothing on it. Was it just naked? His girlfriend, Brianna Denson, took a plea deal after being prosecuted on similar charges for having naked/suggestive pictures. The pictures, however, were pictures of themselves on their own mobile phones. The pictures were from when they were 16,
Yeah.
not 17. And while this court case was going on, he was actually named in the media, unfortunately, and suffered a suspension as quarterback for the team.
Just to wrap my head around it, they were pictures he received when he was also 16.
They were
From
pictures
another
that both of them
16-year-old.
had taken. I don't think they were exchanging the 16-year-old pictures when they were 17.
No, I mean when they were 6, so they were.
Oh, when they were 16,
they were
yeah,
essentially leftovers from something they probably should have cleared.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Well, you probably didn't know that you were going to be sentenced to a court date for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was dropped as a quarterback for his high school football team while the case was going on. It's dysfunctional to charge the possession of your own images, said Justin Patchin, a professor of criminal justice at the University of Wisconsin. The pictures were originally found when they were found.
Yeah.
The pictures were originally found.
I'm guessing he's from a completely different generation as well, who didn't have camera phones.
We'll get to that. The pictures were originally found like on his phone and I assume his girlfriend's phone about the same time when they had reports of sexual images being shared around the school without permission. So I don't think he had nothing to do with that. He had nothing to do with that case, but they found it when they were going through his phone. And Patchin
Why would they
said,
go through his phone?
Oh, just to see if he had possession of said pictures, I suppose.
Well, had someone tipped him off? Or did they just go, give us your phone?
I don't
We're going to
know.
look through it for pictures of you.
Well, usually when you're in school, you sort of know what friend groups are with who. So they probably, maybe it was somebody in their friend group, and they all had to get searched for said image.
Yeah.
Because doesn't it come under sort of revenge
I
porn?
Yeah. It sounded very intrusive for a moment there?
A little bit.
Unless there was some kind of like someone at some point, yeah.
Well, it must
said something to someone.
Well, it was an ongoing case as well, so I assume they just took everyone's phone maybe in the school just to see who had possession of it. No way you can get away from that one, unless you delete it. Patchen said that him and other experts in the field had discussed the case and heard of 0 examples of under 18s being charged with having their own naked selfies on their phone. Kids should not be charged for that, he said, and you don't want kids to be sending such pictures to their significant others. But I don't think it should be a criminal offence.
What's the age
where there is no victim?
What's the age it's done by
North
It's done by
Carolina.
state, isn't it? So what's the age of not being a minor in that country? I thought it'd be 18 in most states.
It's either 18 or 16. Some have it at 16.
Okay, maybe they've got it at 16
Like
in their
us.
state then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it would have been 18 in that state, it would have just been that they're both minors still.
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah.
But seeing as now they're both above the age, seeing as they're 17, not 18. I assume.
Well, I mean, you kind of only have to do a very tiny, small amount of logic here, really, to understand.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to understand what happened here.
Pretty much. Well, this goes back to the 1983, where the Supreme Court made child pornography unconstitutional to protect against adults producing, possessing, or distributing nude images.
Well, that's kind of what I thought was the point. They don't exactly sound like anyone exploiting anyone. They sound like 17-year-olds who are still at school.
Yeah, and to get onto that one. But that was before anyone thought kids would be making and sending nude photos of themselves with publicly available digital technology, said Fred Lane, a computer security
I can understand
privacy expert.
if it started leaving the circles of the kids at school. I could understand then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it'd be like, let's cut the head off of the hydrant here.
I think it's just the fact that they still had the pictures after the date. So but so that law applies in every state, but 20 have legislation, often nicknamed Romeo and Juliet laws, to avoid prosecuting teenagers who exchange nude pictures with each other as a couple where there is no exploitation. So about 20 states have this sort of protection in against because don't you have federal law and then state law?
Yeah.
So then state law overrides that. I assume.
Federal law can, if it's illegal. So in states where cannabis is legal, that's done at the state level. Have they made it a federal one now? I can't remember.
Don't think they've quite made a federal one. There's a lot of places that have legalized it statewide.
If they haven't, then that means the feds can roll in and arrest you for something that is legal in your state but is against the federal.
Yeah, but is against the federal law.
Yeah.
So that. So does that override? So the federal law overrides
federal
state
law overrides state law. I think at certain times the whatever their high court is can essentially step in and override that and say no, the state is constitutional in this law, so therefore you can't roll in and do what you want.
Yeah,
that would be unconstitutional.
Yeah,
essentially.
Okay, so however, in many states, it is still a misdemeanor offense. Misdemeanor. In others, it is a so-called informal offence where the teens get diversion education about making responsible choices. So it doesn't seem like a massive thing anyway.
Yeah.
If it's between those, but they both took a plea deal to avoid potentially going to jail and being registered as sex offenders, because this must have been a state where that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Where it's a lot more harsh. He agreed to be subject to warrantless searches by law enforcement for a year, in addition to other penalties. I pretty much assume that they got the same punishment, but they only mentioned it in more detail with her punishment in the article, so I have assumed that they got about the same.
Yeah.
And she was put on probation. So she was put on probation for a year, technically, for exploiting herself by making and having a naked image of herself.
Can you exploit yourself?
I
think that typically there has to be a second party to exploit someone.
Yeah.
It's to do with manipulation, and you can't manipulate yourself.
Or
Or
can you?
I'm doing it right now.
To be here. I hate it. And she was ordered to pay $200 in court costs, stay in school, refrain from using illegal drugs and alcohol, take a class in making good decisions, so she still got that, and do 30 hours of community service. She was not allowed to have a cell phone for a year. As I say, they only mentioned it in her case, but I assume they both got the same sort of punishment. Very
maybe
unfair.
his family somehow had a lawyer that stopped his information from getting out there. Yeah.
But they've since served that time anyway, and I did read an article that he'd actually done his probation and done everything. And
are they still on some kind of list though?
No, this got wiped from there.
Okay.
If they stuck to the plan,
should,
it got wiped from their record, essentially.
Because essentially, there's no actual tangible evidence that they were the kind of people to ever exploit anyone, or that there's no evidence to say that they would ever exploit anyone in the future, because they weren't exploiting anyone. They were arrested under essentially a law that had been enacted one way, and someone had essentially come in and just kind of manipulated the story enough to make it fit.
I think it's trying to play it up to the jury, just saying, "This is horrible. How could it's the worst thing I've ever seen."
Yeah, you get enough fucking mouth breathers together in a jury,
and there we are.
Yeah.
We have the justice system. Well, with that quite depressing first story, let's move on to an even more depressing, a slight, kind of depressing story about today I learned about the Booby Trap House.
Booby Trap House.
This is about Gregory Rodvelt, 66.
No. I've heard
not,
this story.
It's not the one that you're thinking about.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Did a guy accidentally get shot by his own booby trap?
No. I know which one you're on about.
Okay.
I was going to put it in this episode in 3 Real 3 Fake. I didn't, because I was like, he's probably seen that one.
This one.
Which is our next section that we'll move on to later. But this is a story about Gregory Rodvelt, a 66-year-old from Williams, Josephine Country,
who also
Oregon,
shot himself.
Who shot someone.
Okay.
Who is being charged with assault.
House shoot someone?
Can you
No, yeah, you can. It's premeditation. I was about to say, can you be done if your house murders someone? Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
if
you
you
set
gave
it
it
up.
the gun.
You just lay it down in the living room. Now protect the house.
But don't kill anyone. What did I say?
God damn these floorboards. He's being charged with assault after decking out his home to be like a scene from the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
He had a giant fucking concrete
boulder that was on top of the stairs and crushed everyone in its path because no one seems to think of stepping left. FBI agents found a circular hot tub hooked up to a tripwire, a fortified front door, and animal traps laid around the house.
So he couldn't actually live in this house.
Unless he's very careful, unless he does it at MI5 Mission Impossible style.
Spend all that money getting a hot tub that you can't use.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out why he did this.
And who's going to sneak into your yard just to get into that? Are you going to have to lure someone into that hot tub?
Get in. Don't mind the barbed wire and electrical equipment.
I love to get into miscellaneous people's tubs that I have no idea of the current hygiene status of.
What was your name again? Just before you get fried.
You'd have to be an idiot to climb over into someone's yard and go, I'm going to get in that hot tub that I have no idea when the last time was cleaned.
True. I mean, you just take your own sachet
No one's
with you.
getting into an unattended hot tub.
And especially if it's decked out like a booby trap as well.
It's fucking like wires and lights coming off of it.
Yeah, you're kind of just asking for it. Like, it's just a big sign that says, "You'll die if you get in." He's like, seems reasonable. So yeah, they were able to actually avoid these booby traps. However, they couldn't stop a wheelchair that had a fishing line and a shotgun bullets from shooting and hitting an FBI agent in the leg.
What were they doing there?
The FBI agents.
Yeah, responded to a call.
Probably. Well, actually, I don't know why FBI agents are there. I know why he's setting all these traps, but I don't know why the FBI are there. It seems a bit above their pay grade. So the decked out wheelchair was in a hallway, and it let off its deadly charge when it accidentally got pushed. So I think the fishing line must have been it must have pulled pulled a trigger or something as it went past. But how would you not see that?
So they would just go through the whole house, just like, that's a booby-trapped hot tub, that's booby-trapped cupboard, that's... Oh,
a wheelchair.
that's fine.
Just, I'll push that out. Oh, my leg.
Damn you! Again.
Oh, so here we go. A federal complaint was filed with the U.S. District Court in Medford, Oregon, which read, upon closer examination, the technicians discovered that the spa was rigged in such a manner that when the gate was opened, it would activate a mechanical trigger that would cause the spa to roll towards the person at the gate. So that's why he had the hot tub set up. It was much like a scene from the movie Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Except in some guy's backyard.
Which actor Harrison Ford is forced to outrun a giant stone boulder that he inadvertently triggered by a booby trap switch. So they actually had to explain that in court.
Goddamn boobies.
So that was goddamn boobies and traps. So that was just the report in court. That's not the reason that they were there. I'm still not clear on why they were there. But Gregory
Just wandered in.
was actually being forced to give up his house after he was accused of abusing his 90-year-old mother and her guardian at the property in 2016.
With booby traps.
With booby traps. He put her in that hot tub a few too many times. That might have been why they're actually there. I don't know. Would that be a bit high up their pay grade, eviction?
Well,
Unless they're trying to arrest him.
not if someone was like, I've seen him clearly setting up booby traps around his house. He's very brazen about it.
Yeah, he's just whistling along going, this is gonna kill someone. This is gonna kill some FBI agent that will walk into my house and trigger a wheelchair.
Get in here, you big lug.
I love you. He had also been jailed for an armed standoff in Arizona in 2017, but only spent 2 weeks.
I think that's probably why the FBI were there. It sounds like he's got a
Maybe.
record.
Well, maybe, but he was arrested. He was arrested already. Like, he was already in jail, but he only spent 2 weeks so he could prepare for the house sale. The estate agent for the house called the police to let them know. He found a sign saying, protected with improvised devices outside.
Oh, so he was very brazen about it.
Yeah, so he was advertising it to everyone. He's like, step in here and
You can't
test
use
your
you
luck.
can't use the word improvised either, because they like any like federal bureau is going to immediately go, oh,
That was pre-planned.
Well, IED. They'll immediately think IED and move in. IED's improvised explosive device. They won't think
okay.
second. They'll just move in. They'll get bomb defusal fucking squads in there.
So that's why they're there.
You use the word
Okay.
improvised like. That's a trigger word.
Yeah.
They'll have you for that. Yeah.
I couldn't find out how his court went. A few of these I couldn't find out what happened in court, so we may have to check up on that one at some point in the future. But talking about the future, Howard, let's go back to the past where
I thought we were going to the future.
No.
But talking to the future, let's go the other way.
We're not that lucky. Today I learned about the tuberculosis fashion trend. Do you know anything about this?
Why would I know anything about this?
So,
This sounds terrible.
if you're familiar with Victorian history or art from that time, you may know the name Marie Duplessis. Duplessis, who was a French courtesan and Parisian celebrity. In her most famous portrait by Edmond Vionnant,
Edmund who?
Edmund, we'll call Edward.
Edward.
Edward Vionnant.
Vinot.
Vinot. It's probably Vinot, yeah.
Vinot.
She had, and I quote, glossy black hair frames a beautiful oval face with sparkling eyes and ivory skin. However,
She had a face,
she
and I liked it.
and I drew it, and now it's mine forever. The woman, not the painting. However, her fame was short-lived, as she was affected by tuberculosis, which killed her at the age of 23
Oh.
in 1847.
Well, it's not good.
Very sad end. Well, at least the guy has a painting to remember her by. By the mid-19th century, 1800s, it's kind of confusing, isn't it, how you get...
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
Aren't we in, like, the 21st century?
21st century,
now?
yeah.
Shouldn't it...
So the 18th century was the 1700s.
Yes, so the 19th
19th
century is the 1800s. Tuberculosis had reached epidemic proportions in Europe and the United States. Pardon me, if you don't know, tuberculosis attacks the lungs and damages other organs, which is why you go a bit pale.
A bit
A
pale.
little bit. This was before
Everything else.
Well, yeah,
All
like death,
the death and the black lung and
death, and the grave. Gross.
tuberculosis.
This was
not good.
And this was before antibiotics were a thing, so victims would simply slowly waste away.
Yeah.
You didn't really have an option. You become extremely pale and thin until they finally die of consumption.
Well, I was going to say,
as they would call
wasn't it called consumption?
Yeah. However, the Victorians romanticized the disease. They didn't fear it. They sort of made
Oh,
it
no,
into
it's normal.
Have you noticed my tuberculosis? It's really coming in. Oh,
I'm wearing it on my sleeve.
don't you look nice? Just dead on the floor.
Don't know why I went up here.
We're in Newcastle.
That's totally the wrong place. Aren't we supposed to be in London? Or France?
Maybe. Oh, yeah, we are in
Oh,
France.
we're in France.
Oh, oui. I am dying very slowly. As you can see, I am terribly ill.
But looking fantastic.
Don't I? All my fingers fell off. Better
But
collect them.
I keep them in a jar. I can't hold the jar, so I strapped it to my waist.
As you can see, my new fashion statement finger bag.
Would you like a finger?
So
It
between
means I like you.
eat it. Between 1780 and 1850, there is an increasing aestheticization.
Is that like a
Aestheticization.
fetishization, but with an aesthetic instead of a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sort of it was you either look like that or you're worldly.
Okay.
Of tuberculosis that becomes intertwined with feminine beauty, says Carolyn Day.
Oh, so they were all painting themselves to look like they had consumption, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So if
okay,
you,
now
if you
maybe I
didn't-
think I do remember this, actually.
I think it gets taught a lot in school. I think this sort of
Yeah, so everyone wanted
how
to look as
people
pale as fucking
romanticised.
possible, so they'd paint themselves with anything they could get that was the palest of the pale.
just moon dust.
Enamel.
Where'd my teeth go? You're looking at it.
Sparkling I am. Still in France.
Glad I moved here last week. You all look great. So Carolyn Day is an assistant professor of history at Furman University in South Carolina. We're back in South Carolina. During the 19th century, consumption was thought to be caused by hereditary and miasmas, susceptibility and miasmas, or bad airs in the environment.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Bad air.
In upper classes, they decided that the more attractive a woman is, the higher chance she has at catching tuberculosis.
Yeah.
In the 1909 book Tuberculosis, a treatise by American authors on the etiology. There's no M. So
Okay,
it's
then I'm wrong.
etiology. I think it's
Etiology.
etiology, pathology, frequency, semiology, diagnosis, from author. From the author.
Let's have a look. What is it?
So do you want to try this?
Let's have a look.
I'll put it at the top. This is a 1909 book, which is
A 1909 book, Tuberculosis, a treatise by American authors on its etiology, pathology, frequency, semiology, diagnosis, prognosis, prevention, and treatment.
yeah.
I think.
I hope it's a treatment by them.
That was a mouthful.
So
They
it
were
was
terrible at books in the past.
not very eye catching. So I had a note from the author saying a considerable number of patients have had for years previous in their sickness a delicate transparent skin as well as fine silky hair, sparkling or dilated eyes, rosy cheeks and red lips that were also common in tuberculosis patients, which we know now as being signs of a fever.
I
as
want to
well.
look like I'm ravished.
I want to look like
No,
I'm
sorry.
about to die.
Ravaged.
Here are my claw marks.
I want to look like I'm just hanging on to the edge of the precipice, if you could.
Just don't push me over the edge because I'm very fragile. very fragile.
No, in Welsh.
Now I'm Welsh. I'm very fragile, and I move a lot.
Make me look lush.
We also begin to see elements in fashion that either highlight symptoms of the disease or physically emulate the illness, Day says. This is when you had corsets.
People walking around coughing.
Well, yeah, just people walking around coughing, going, "Oh, she's beautiful," and she just just coughs up.
I'm not dying, but I'm an actor.
I love it. I love it. So you would have people that had corsets to show off the sickness and huge skirts to
So it looks like they're
emphasise the
literally
small waist.
wasting away.
yeah. So you'd have people with waist like the size of my hands together in a circle, and then
The
you would have-
wasty waist for wasters.
join now.
Before you die of something else.
I mean, because then you can't do it
We don't live long around here.
at all.
And by that, I mean everywhere.
We don't. Well, apparently there's
It's a problem
23.
with position in time, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry about that. Maybe in the future, if you make it.
Don't count on it. That's all right. I can't count anyway.
Oh, there goes another one. Another one bites the dust, as they say. That's probably where
It's
the
very
song comes from.
catchy.
Might make a song about it someday. Just
Oh.
die straight there.
Was my idea now.
So,
My name's Freddie Mercury. No, I got a lot of mercury in my blood.
is that why I live so long? There goes another one.
My idea now.
So middle and upper class women would also emulate the pale skin, flushed cheeks, and red lips with makeup, presumably lipstick. But in the later half of the 19th century, 1882, to be specific, Robert Koch announced that he had discovered and isolated the
Koch.
bacteria that caused the disease. So he found out what was causing this disease.
It's this little blighter here.
As you can see, it's Stephanie over there. She's a right
She's a right
pass
wrong.
her
Run.
on. Shoots her in the head. There you go, all cured.
No more tuberculosis.
The rest of the room just starts dropping like flies. You go, oh well, shit.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe.
Just maybe.
We'll see.
Starts killing everyone else off. He actually helped the germ theory gain more legitimacy and convince physicians and public health experts that tuberculosis was contagious.
Was this the guy who got sent to a mental institution?
I'm not sure. You might have to look into that later.
Or is this the guy who read up on the guy who got sent to a mental institution? Essentially, the guy who originally came up with what was wrong with medical practice, so hospitals been dirty, or so he was basically like, it's germs, they'll kill you, essentially. The medical institution actually, they decided they just took him away. They said he was insane, locked him away, and took away all of his research. I think it was 20 years later or something, a guy looked into his research and realized he was right, and he was the guy that was then the guy who discovered germs, essentially. But the original,
What a dick.
The original, no, what
We
are you
didn't
going to
have
do?
germs before that.
What are you going to do? They took him to a mental institution and he died there.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, there you go. This guy was right. But he essentially, so the other guy had identified it, but the guy who is
carried on
credited
his
for it was the
research.
guy who also came up with a lot of answers to the problem, essentially.
So this might be the same guy. Robert Koch might be the same guy who carried it on, but I would assume that he's just somebody who added to it as well, because it must have been going for a little while. In an effort to combat tuberculosis, doctors started to say that long skirts cause the disease. They explained that they were sweeping up germs on the street and bringing them into the home. So this eradicated that trend. They also warned against wearing corsets too. They explained that it would exuberate the tuberculosis by limiting the movements of the lungs and blood flow. So they're out as well.
Essentially created an atmosphere perfect for tuberculosis.
Yes. Very healthy people. They did have an alternative to these ones, though. They had the health corset, which was made out of sort of elastic fabric to reduce the pressure on the ribs. Men's fashion, however, wasn't out of the firing range either. Beards, mustaches, and sideburns were also targeted.
Full
they
of
were
shit.
deemed dangerous. Well, yeah, they'd carry a shit ton
That
of
fucking
bacteria.
face fur will kill someone. I don't know. I'm tempted to Johnny Vegas.
Give me a kiss. There is no way of computing the number of bacteria and noxious germs that may lurk in the Amazonian jungles of a well-whiskered face. But their number must be a legion, said Edwin F. Bowers, an American doctor known for pioneering reflexology, wrote in a 1916 issue of McClure's magazine. That was a mouthful. Jesus.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
Hello. Welcome to my magazine. You may know me from last issue. Measles, scarlet fever, diphtheria, tuberculosis, whooping cough, common and uncommon colds, and a host of other infectious diseases can be and undoubtedly are transmitted via the whisker route. So, through your beard. If you didn't catch
Through
on.
the whisker route. Oh, we're so poetic in the 1800s.
But by the time this was published, most facial hair had gone on American men,
Just fell
especially
off.
surgeons and physicians. Yeah, it just fell off one day, just streets full of it.
It goes through resurgence anyway. It's like, at the moment it's cool. It won't be cool again soon.
Yeah, it
Eventually everyone will be fucking clean shaven again. And
Keeps
then-
you warm.
And it'll cycle around again. And yeah.
Hopefully not anytime soon. I like the warmth of this one. The very little warmth that this very little beard gives. And lastly, they would prescribe sunbathing as a treatment for tuberculosis, leading to the rise of modern tanning.
Wouldn't...
To sort of make your
No,
skin
no, actually,
less,
okay.
less death-like.
Just cover it up with a sunburn.
Yeah. So instead of really white people, just have really red people.
Yeah, I'm really pale and sensitive. Go and lie out in the sun.
That'll do you good.
Ow!
My tuberculosis and sunburn.
I can feel it cure. Ow!
Stop touching me.
No one's touching you. Oh
I'm
no!
very lonely.
Something is wrong.
Well, talking about very lonely people, let's move on to my last fact of today, where I learned about the loneliest frog in the world.
Oh.
This is a story of Romeo, a male Sehunacas.
Oh, is he like the last of his species?
Sehunacas water frog, thought to possibly be the last of his kind.
I said that.
So, it's as if I read this before. So Romeo, the handsome devil that he is,
Romeo.
actually looks sort of like the Hypnotoad from Futurama. He's got sort of the black eyes. And
Yes, Hypnotoad.
so last year on Valentine's Day, Bolivia's Museo de Historia Natural Alcide,
Those were some words.
the Albany of what? Cochabamba,
Again?
put up a Match.com profile for Romeo. These such mouthfuls today.
Oh, to see if anyone else around the world had one of this species by any perchance.
Well, he didn't get any messages from any lady frogs, but instead got a lot of messages from humans who donated
Excuse me?
$25,000
Oh, okay.
in an effort to
I thought
find
they were-
more of the
I
endangered
thought they just
amphibians.
wanted to have sex with a frog.
There were probably a few in there. That $25,000 is paying off for
Have they
Romeo.
been able to do a comprehensive search?
Well, the species was booming in Bolivia's tropical cloud forest, known for its low-hanging cloud cover. However,
I thought it was going to be a forest in the clouds. I am severely
I was very
disappointed.
disappointed. However, they are facing extinction across Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru because of multiple threats, including habitat destruction, climate change, pollution, citrid fungus,
So there's one natural cause.
yeah, and invasive trout and nibble frogs eggs.
Okay, at least there was a few
two of
natural
them are
causes in there.
natural.
You kind of started
It's
off
not
with
all on us.
dicks, cunts, and assholes. Because
It's
shitheads.
us, and they're natural deaths.
And then some bastard trouts.
Fuck them. Kill them all. So, Romeo is picked up 10 years ago. So he's been with them for 10 years
That's an old frog.
in hope of
How long do frogs
repopulating the
live for?
species. Longer than 10 years, apparently. Well, this one does. Romeo's a fighter. But searching for more of the... I'm not even going to try and say the name of the frogs anymore. But the search is for the Sehunacas frog. The Hypnotoads came up empty-handed, and Romeo spent many years alone. They didn't want the same fate for Romeo as the last known Rabe's fringe-legged tree frog, which died in Atlanta in 2016. So, the money allowed the non-profit Global Wildfare wildlife.
Okay, that went
I had a bit of a
from
moment
one
there.
extreme to the other.
The global wildfire
Things that kills
conservation-
the things that conservate them. Sorry.
makes them extra crispy. And the museum, I'm not going to say that either again, to mount a new expedition. However, it was rocky beginnings. After searching
Look at all these
streams-
fucking rocks. Why are we on the rocks?
just
Let's go somewhere else.
just rocky beginnings. We stepped on 7.
Aren't they supposed to be in a cloudy forest? Why are we on rocks?
It's very hard clouds.
We're climbing this
Ow.
mountain.
God damn. So after searching streams they were found at before and other streams that had similar conditions, they came up empty-handed and was ready to pack up and leave. But they tried once more, just one more stream. With not much hope in their hearts, they trudged over to the last stream, where expedition
I
leader...
thought you were going to say they trudged over the last rock.
Shit.
This was the last pond. No.
Just imagine if you were somebody who wasn't that important and were just volunteering and you just trod on the frog.
Yeah.
You'd have to like...
Now tread carefully. What?
This ground's very soft. What are we looking
Good
for
thing
again?
I stepped on these small critters that are keeping my feet nice and Oh.
Oh, that are totally not frogs. Just scrapes it off into the water.
Oh.
They were dead when I got here.
Oh.
Fucking trout.
Just kicks a trout in the face.
It was our last home. As that person just slowly walking away. I would be mortified. Oh, God.
So they didn't trounce over the last of the
No,
frog species.
No.
Good.
So the team leader, Teresa Kambocha, Badani.
You can do better than that.
Badani. Badani saw a frog jump. When I pulled it out, I saw an orange belly and suddenly realized I had in my hands the long-awaited water frog. Badani said, my first reaction was to yell, I found one! And the team came running over to help me and pull the frog to safety. Sounds like it's a fucking massive frog.
I was going to say what? What?
Help me!
Oh, she climbed into some weird.
I think she must have climbed
device.
into some very strong waters.
I've been hiding because I'm the last of my species. No, don't grab me, you cunt.
I've been holding on for dear life this whole time. Ah! So yeah, she said that she said blah 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 blah, and the team came running
She said
over. Yeah, she said that, and the team came running over to help me pull the frog to safety. It was an incredible feeling. They found 5 of these frogs in that one stream, including an adult female croaker, which they hope will be a love match for Romeo. Mwah.
As if.
What a lovely story. It's not the end of the story, but what a lovely story so far. Chris Jordan, a Central America and Tropical Andes coordinator at Global Wildlife
I
Conservation.
coordinate the Andes.
Andy, to the left a little bit.
No, not you, Andy. Andy.
Andy over there. Oh, for
I'm
fuck's
calling
sake.
you Andrew.
Andrew. To the left.
To the left.
To the left, Andrew. So yeah, they found 5 of those, and Chris Jordan, who's not Andrew, said there is always a risk in bringing animals from the wild to build an insecure population, and it isn't a step that should be taken lightly. But at this point,
But we
it
really
seems
should step lightly because of all these endangered frogs.
that are on the bottom of my shoes. Does anyone like my new frog-skinned boots?
So let's undertake this violently light-footed
attempt. He said, but at this point, it seems there are too few water frogs in the wild for them to retain a viable population over the long term, so there's a greater risk if we don't do anything. The frogs are currently in quarantine. The adult female frog, now known as Juliet, will be paired up with Romeo, and the other frogs will go elsewhere, because our main protagonist, Romeo, has found himself
Is Joliet.
a frog GF. What a legend.
A goof.
A goof. A
frog of.
A frog of. Hello, this is my frog of. Romeo is really calm and relaxed and doesn't move a whole lot. He's healthy and likes to eat, but he's kind of shy and slow.
He's really annoyed
Madani
they found
said.
a family for him. He was really happy being alone.
He was really
before.
happy, ready to die. Juliet is more active. She's really energetic and swims a lot, and she eats a lot, and sometimes she tries to escape.
Because Romeo
is
is
horrible.
fucking boring.
She just starts cuddling up to a rock instead. She goes, "You're better."
You really have sold this by calling him Romeo, you fucks.
Yeah, he just seems more like lazy-o. Got him. Fuck you, frogs. So hopefully we hear about some sort of resurgence in the species. Either this article is really old and they've all died out, or this article is relatively new, and we'll have to wait and find out. Hopefully it's relatively new, and we are yet to know the results of the frog repopulation effort.
The
wildfire.
Frog Report.
The Romeo Frog Report.
Tune in next week for more from the Frog Report.
Nothing to report. Bye.
Ribbit.
Fuck it.
No, that's not a frog.
Fuck it.
Okay. Sure, why not?
I matched it on Match.com. I'm going to frig it.
Nope.
Frog it. Anyway, let's move on to our next section of the podcast, because those are my facts for today. The next section is called 3 Real, 3 Fake, and this is my favorite. Goodbye. Bye. Until next time.
Three real and 3 fake.
Okay, Howard. Welcome to arguably everyone. I'm going to say everyone because I'm going to blanket everyone in this statement. Everyone's favorite section of the podcast, because it's definitely mine. 3 real, 3 fake, where I've gathered 3 real news articles and made up 3. And you at home and Howard
I'm
are
going
to
to
guess.
figure them out.
You got to figure out which one's real and which one's not so real.
With my thinking brain.
That could be real. After I've mentioned it, somebody can go and commit this crime or whatever I've written about and make it real. So
You've committed a crime. What have you done?
let me know. You don't want to know, Howard. Let's move on. All right. So my first one is police issue update on latex-clad gimp terrorizing sleepy Somerset village. Is that one real or is that one fake?
Real.
You want to say that one's real?
Yeah.
All right. Next one is lawyer stole milk tea after stealthily molesting sleeping man, Hyogo police say.
Oh no.
Real
Fake.
or fake? You want to say that one's fake?
Yeah.
Okay. So my next one is Mayonnaise man believed
Real.
Mayonnaise man believed to have returned to his uniform ruining ways in Hokkaido. Real? Real?
Mayonnaise man.
I love it so much. I keep it
it's
on me at all
so
times.
greasy.
Me, not the mayo.
mayonnaise man. It's greasy.
Just me.
Yeah.
And me. Sure. My next one is a Puerto Rico doctor has apologized after replacing the wrong organ and is now being accused of keeping it for himself.
Fake. They would never apologize.
You want to say? My next one is family forcibly removed from rental property after trying to sacrifice landlord's dog 3 times.
It's real.
Real? You want to say what's real? And on to my last one. Strong storms in Monaco believed to be formed after anger of the dead, and a £350 million task force has been assembled to deal with it.
Fake, because they always blame the weather on the gays. So.
All right, so let's get to that. Let's get to these. So the police issue update on latex-clad gimp terrorizing a sleepy Somerset village. What did you say?
That one's true.
And it is. That one is true. You're going to be happy with these. A Puerto Rico doctor has apologized after replacing the wrong organ. You said fake. It is
Fake.
fake. Yeah, that is fake.
Roll.
The lawyer stole milk tea after stealthily molesting sleeping man. Hyogo police say. I think you said that one's fake. It is real.
Damn it.
That one is real. Family forcefully removed from rental property after trying to sacrifice landlord's dog 3 times.
Real.
Fake.
Oh.
But
Two down.
But now we're down to Mayonnaise Man and Strong Storms. You said Mayonnaise Man was real,
Yeah.
and you said Storms was fake.
Yeah.
How Howard,
I've done it.
unfortunately, you were right.
Hey!
Mayonnaise Man is real. And
3.
strong storms in Monaco believed to be. You got 3 for 3?
No, I got 3 out.
Oh, you got 4.
I got 3 out of 3.
I think you got 4.
Did I get 3 out of 3? I got 3 real. No, sorry, 3 wrong. I got 3 right and 3 wrong, I think.
Yeah, oh, did you? I think you may have. Yes.
I was halfway there.
Nearly. Well, let's go on to the gimp suit man, the latex-clad gimp terrorising the sleepy Somerset village. So this is happening in North Somerset village near Bristol Airport called Claverham, if you've ever heard of it. Bristol. It's up by Bristol. And
Is that the right accent for Bristol?
Bristolian.
Bristolian.
Bristol.
Bristol.
Bristol. Love it. This is happening in Claverham. Oh, that's more Welsh. Where locals are terrified and even scared to leave their house at night as someone in a full-body gimp suit is on the loose.
It's so shiny.
Oh my God, he's sneaking in your windows. You
can hear him because it just sounds like...
And then you just...
Apparently it's Danny DeVito from Batman.
That's that's when he's running really fast, so you know he's gaining on you. There is a picture in the article. I would urge everyone to go and have a look at this because it is the creepiest shit I've ever seen. It's do you know the mask that has the 2 X's in the eyes and then the stitched mouth out of Watch Dogs, I think it is. Yeah. I don't know if it's originally from Watch Dogs, but he's got that face on with just a full black bodysuit. It is horrifying.
I don't know if it's really scary because he's not exactly got anywhere to hide any weapons or anything.
True, but still, it would be terrifying to see that person walking towards you.
Nah, not really.
At night, I would be I'd be horribly scared.
If he had a knife, then yeah. If he was like carrying a big like kitchen knife or something, I'd be like, that's something to worry about. But otherwise, he's just a slippery obstacle for you to get home.
He just grabs you and you just slip out of his arms.
It's like, no.
True, yeah, if he did have a weapon, it would be quite easy to spot. You'd just be like, it's a very lovely knife-shaped penis you have there.
I was going to say, I don't think he can do much harm, really.
Yeah. I think just more terrifying.
Oh, it's just weird. Hello, Neelix.
It is pretty weird. Hello, Neelix. Would you like to go outside? Some people believe that he's been at this for years, so it's not a recent occurrence. So he's been patrolling for quite a while.
Patrolling.
What's he doing? He's patrolling the streets, fighting.
He's a superhero
innocent
now.
people.
He's a vigilante now.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
He's basically Batman.
He is basically a B-Tech Batman. He just can't afford the rest of the suit. He just can't afford the rest of the suit, so he's been walking around in this gimp suit.
You villain! Stop!
Stop, I said. How does he know where I'm going? With police revealing they had already received numerous reports about the odd behaviour. So they don't actually know if it's one person either.
Is he actually behaving oddly, or is he just walking around in a latex gimp suit?
We'll get to that. They even had a helicopter and a sniffer dog unit sent out to investigate the area, resulting in 2 arrests, who were later released without charge. So what a waste of a helicopter that was. The last reported sighting was actually in July.
Gimp suit.
Yeah, just to find a guy in a gimp suit. Why not?
Load up the whirly bird.
We'll see him up here. It's night time. You wouldn't. Oh well, I guess you would in the helicopter.
Flew. Oh, actually, no. They got heat vision. How could they not have found him?
Would that reflect the heat though?
No.
The gimp suit.
Well,
could he do sort of a Batman style? Well, he's aiming to be Batman. You would need a coolant
suit. You would need a coolant suit, but you'd probably be spottable as you're walking around because your feet are like.
I wonder where he is. Just film mini earthquakes.
I am the night.
Stealth is my middle name. Jesus. But the last report of this guy or girl being sighted out was actually July of this year. So he hasn't arisen since then. They're laying low. But what is the gimp man doing that warrants this? You may be asking yourself. Well,
Just looking for a friend.
oh, God damn it. Well, he has apparently targeted 14 local men and women while dressed in a range of disguises.
Okay, really looking for a friend.
Well,
What?
yeah. He's just changing
I
things
thought
up.
at the moment he was literally just wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah, well, he's targeting people.
Okay, well now I like him.
Now we need the helicopter. Got him down!
More helicopters.
More sniffer dogs on the helicopters.
Get those police out in the field, dressed up as gimps.
Oh my God, you just
Undercover
have like undercover.
cops.
You just end up arresting more police.
But they're just in leather cop outfits.
They're in exactly the same gimp suit, but then they've got a police hat on. You'll never know.
What's going on here?
Hey, stop that. It's just like other people in the town dressed up as gimps.
Somebody
as well.
stop him.
We're watching a high-speed pursuit.
They're going over a fence.
Oh no, one's falling.
He's got in the water.
Oh, I need to see this reality TV show immediately. It said that he was dressed in a range of disguises, but I didn't find any specifics
All
on
of
what
them
those
leather.
other disguises are.
He's a leather priest. He's a leather Batman.
Oh,
Leather Spider-Man.
he's Batman. He's just Batman normally. Oh my God, it's me in leather. Yeah, I wish I could find some specifics on what are the costumes. My hope is that he's just dressing up in the same gimp suit, but adding accessories every time.
Sombrero,
Yes.
top hat,
Snorkel,
mustache.
police badge. Oh. So, one witness who had run into the gimp man spoke to the BBC and said this. I was walking along with my torch and looked up to see someone charging at me in full black rubbery suit. I thought it was a dying dog at first. He kept coming towards me and was touching his groin, grunting and breathing heavy.
Fucking hell.
Be my friend. I'm not an undercover police. I promise. As I tried to take a step back, he was right in front of my face and he put his leg forward. I was just trying to assess the situation in my head quickly. Should I join him? Or should I run? Oh, he's in my face. Took too long. Everything was running through my head. I thought, this is it. I'm going to be attacked.
I'm going to be killed by a man in a leather wetsuit.
What a weak way to die. Oh my God, yeah, imagine. That's
What a
on your
squeaky way to
tombstone.
die.
We heard him leaving the scene of the crime. If you listen closely,
He was on a
you can
bicycle.
still hear him. High-speed pursuit. I was looking round thinking, oh my God, it's not just a man jumping out at me and going boo. Every time I close my eyes, I just see his face, or lack thereof, I suppose, because you can't really see his face. At least you couldn't in the picture that I saw. So, Rebecca Stedman, who owns the pizza to go shop in town, said that the recent July, I assume, discovery of a man's body in a car has fueled concerns.
Oh, no.
So there is a murderer on the loose, but just we don't know if it's.
But
this
is it a
man.
squeaky murderer?
I don't know. Dressing like he did was only ever going to cause fear, and approaching someone in the dead of night is just criminal, she said. This is really good. So just every time somebody walks past her in the street, she goes, criminal!
I was going to say, the amount of people... At night is the time when everyone approaches you.
Yeah.
Constantly. You got, even if it's just for something stupid like a lighter, for some reason everyone feels much more confident at night. They just walk straight up to you like, give me this. No.
Yeah, just what? Ask me tomorrow morning. Maybe. That's kind of true. Yeah. People do seem more sociable at night for some reason.
God knows why.
Maybe everyone's just more tired.
Can't you just be perfectly British at the night
and
as
leave
well?
me alone.
Yeah.
Never speak to me. Mother.
And I will do the same to you.
Bye.
Heaven.
Goodbye, heaven. Dressing like he did. Oh, well, I've already read that. This is a really quiet place to live normally, but the day after Gimp-man made an appearance, a body was found in a van. But I think the dead man had been there for several days, so the police were able to eliminate him as a potential suspect. But I guess people would still think it's a bit odd, a bit strange.
Yeah. How can they eliminate him as a potential suspect if they don't even know who he is?
I don't know, and I don't know how she knows this information either.
He didn't necessarily have to be dressed in the gimp suit the night he killed someone.
Or do you?
No.
What about if he left gimp? He could have left gimp footprints in the blood.
Gimp prints.
Gimp prints. Yeah. Maybe it has gimp on the bottom of his shoe.
He's left these gimp prints in the floor. Don't you mean imprints? No, imprints.
Gimp prints. How do you know what they look like?
He's getting away!
Stop him! Some residents have vowed to patrol the streets in search of the gimp man. He was even spotted by a local out their window, claiming he has even targeted farm animals.
Oh. Dear.
Walking to them very ominously. I hope nothing else. I hope nothing else. Oh, God. Oh, God, I don't want to imagine what that squeaking is about. Hopefully not bed springs. So it seems...
They treat him like a lady.
Here's your lipstick. Lovely. So it seems he's still at large. I looked at multiple sources for this, like, you know...
That's a good pun.
Well, yeah.
Still at
Oil.
large. How do you know?
Well, so I use
It
multiple
was a
sources for
semi.
this.
Get away.
Google is your friend for this one.
Yeah.
So basically, just be careful if you live in Claverham of this man. If you're listening in Claverham, get out.
Listen out.
You're in danger.
Don't wear your headphones. You need to be listening out for the
For squeaks.
violent squeaks of a latex gimp suit.
Oh, God, imagine that being the last thing you hear. Just... Your head's
No, I'd
caved
rather
in.
not. Thank you very much.
I'm just going to start squeaking behind you every time we walk.
Gross.
So my next one is: the lawyer stole milk tea after stealthily molesting sleeping man. Hiogo Somerset. No, so the Hiogo police say. So this happened on November 23rd, not too long ago. A man was arrested in Hyogo Prefecture after he allegedly stole a partially full bottle of milk tea. After he molested a man who slept through during the thing.
What?
During the whole thing.
During the event.
Just during, yeah. During,
Events that transpired.
yeah.
Not the thing.
Well, so it said that the crime was committed on the 10th of December, but I assume that means November. Either that's my fault or
I was going to say
the article's fault.
It's the 7th,
Yeah.
the day of recording.
So I don't think it's happening in the future.
Or is it?
It may. Watch
No,
out.
it's not.
Hyogo
Or is
Prefecture.
it?
It may happen again. In the apartment of two 39 and 20-year-old men. So these men were sleeping. It was 12:30 a.m. while the co-workers were sleeping. That was when 33-year-old Atoshi. Well, it says Atsushi Kodoma.
Okay. Well,
lawyer.
then that's probably how you should pronounce it.
Atsushi
Sounds about right.
Kodoma. Yeah, Atsushi Kodoma said the lawyer snuck into the apartment with a sharp blade. He entered into the 39-year-old man's bedroom and cut a hole in his crotch and fondled around with him.
Oh.
There was no word on how long this went on. But then he moved on to the 20-year-old's room, where he cut open a hole once again in the groin area. However,
What the fuck?
unlike the first co-worker, he didn't fool around with his junk. For some reason, he left
That's
the
a
apartment
nice way
after
of
this.
putting it.
Yeah, well, I put it that way. The
That's a
article
delicate
didn't.
way of putting it.
He didn't mess around with his junk. For some reason, he left the apartment after this, but not empty-handed. He had taken a half-empty bottle of milk tea with him when he left. That
Which
was
he
left on the table.
Which they later recovered with his DNA on it.
Yes.
Was that just a really good guess?
Oh, maybe. It's not clear how they determined... Well, here we go. It's not clear how they determined it was him, but he admitted to doing it
Oh.
once under arrest. So I don't know how they figured out it was him. maybe the lawyer had some connection to them or another crime of a similar nature. But he told the police, "There is no doubt I did it," and they arrested him. There's no doubt that I did it. And unfortunately, they didn't share how he managed to do all this without waking the two men. Maybe we'll find out in the future, because this is relatively recent, and it might come out in the court case, which will be held at some point in the future. Hopefully the 10th of December. In the future. And that was a very short and sweet one, that one. A lot of these are short.
Just short.
That milk tea probably was. So let's move on to our last one. Mayonnaise Man, believed to have returned to his uniform-ruining ways in Hokkaido.
I would totally need to write a comic book now called
Mayonnaise Man. Well, we've got Bannister Man.
Bannister Man versus Mayonnaise
and we've got Mayonnaise Man, which
equals a lot of people falling downstairs.
equals a very slippery handrail.
They're in cahoots
with Heinz. Does Heinz make
Heinz Man
mayonnaise? Hopefully.
Yes, they do make mayonnaise.
Do they?
They make everything.
And Bannisters.
No.
Oh, out of business.
Bannisters aren't everything. How dare you?
They're edible. So this Mayonnaise Man incident happened on October 11th of this year in Ebetsu City, Hokkaido Prefecture. A girl was on her way back from school in her school uniform, as you would, when out of nowhere
Mayonnaise everywhere.
Approached a 39-year-old man who suddenly spat salad dressing.
Well, then this is totally... I thought we were dealing with Mayonnaise Man. This is Salad Cream Man. This is totally the wrong villain.
Just you wait. So he spat salad dressing onto the girl's uniform, ruining it. The police were able to track the man down by his DNA after the girl filed a police report. This was partly thanks to the DNA obviously left in the salad dressing. He admitted to committing the crime. Everyone's just committing to admitting. They are committed to admitting their crime.
Committed to admitting the commission of... Oh, wait.
I thought I would find a high school girl and dirty her uniform before going into work, he said.
Because I'm a knob? What?
Yeah.
Why?
Just had some left over. Needed to get rid of it somehow.
You're just a complete fucking sociopath. What the fuck? How did you just answer that
just nonchalantly?
Oh, I just needed to find someone to spit on them.
Don't you?
It had to be a schoolgirl for some reason.
I had it in my mouth already. What am I going to do with it? In the bin? Have you never heard of recycling? She could eat it.
Fucking ridiculous, man.
She could put it on her salad when she gets home.
I did exactly what any sane person would do in that situation.
Spat my salad dressing on
a
schoolgirl.
A schoolgirl. So fuck you.
Let me go. Just is in.
Why am I arms strapped to my ears?
Please, my mouth.
Kill it.
Start spitting in his own mouth.
Oh god.
Mayonnaise. But it wasn't that cut and dry. This hasn't been confirmed, but the man who goes by the name Tsuyoshi Furusawa shares the name with the 32-year-old Sapporo man who went around spitting mayonnaise at schoolgirls in 2012.
What the fuck is this guy's deal?
There were 12 reports of this incident happening.
Fuck.
So they have the same name.
Weird.
Well, they have the same name, the same age, and the same height, and they also do the same disgusting ass thing. So it makes me
sounds like we're dealing with one person.
Completely different people. Yeah, or the same person.
We're dealing with Mayonnaise Man, clearly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just scribbles out. They're completely different people on his.
Pulls down the board.
Inspector notes.
Red strings and everything.
Oh, yeah, don't be stupid. Fuck. Don't be stupid.
My career
is in the gutter.
Mayonnaise everywhere.
Just different choices of condiments is all that separates these men. And lastly,
this man.
Well, this
and his multiple personalities and their favorite condiments.
Next time he'll bring ketchup. And lastly, there were people online. So some of the comments include 2 strikes are enough for this guy. Throw the book at him. That's disgusting. Ow! The next, ow! Just hits him in the cheek, and all the mayonnaise comes out. I was saving that for. Fuck. I wonder if he'll switch to salt next time. Was
What?
another one.
Because he's salty.
I would
What?
I would just spit. Oh god, that would be horrible. Wouldn't that be? Oh,
I had
having
the
a
idea
whole
of just a whole
mouth of
mouthful of
salt.
salt just made me fucking want to retch.
Wouldn't that dissolve in his mouth?
No, you'd probably fucking die from thirst by holding like a whole fucking mouthful of salt in your mouth.
Oh, well, I
you'd
hope-
probably die.
I assume he wouldn't keep it in for long. You'd probably find a target, chug it, chug it,
It's making me retch. What?
chug like a cup of
No,
salt, and he's like,
fuck you.
and he's like, So somebody else wrote, going from mayonnaise man to dressing man seems like a step down. Is there a deserted island we can just drop this guy off on somewhere, and to eat sand and spit it
that
at
escalated.
creatured. He's creatured. And last but not least, I think it's time we start using those GPS bans like they have in other countries for these people. Which I've never heard of that.
Put little like little GPS trackers. Put little GPS trackers on all his condiments.
All these off his bed, so all of his
On
condoms.
him, and on
All
all
his
his
condoms.
condoms.
He doesn't use condoms. He just sprays some like red sauce on. And goes, "That's it. We're all clear." And that with that disgusting story over, let's go eat some salt.
Thanks for that.
And move on to our next section of the podcast, our final section.
The finale.
Today I fucked up, which I don't think you can fuck up any more than eating a whole
No, I feel quite sick now. The idea
bottle of
just,
salt.
Like walking around with mayonnaise or salt in my mouth.
So yeah, should we go and try the salt thing? We'll be back with the next part later if I survive. Bye. I kind of want to try that now.
No, you don't.
Oh well, when I
No,
get home.
don't. You'll die.
You'll die. I can't die that quick.
Today, I fucked up.
Welcome back, everyone, to Today I Fucked Up, the part of the podcast where we talk about potentially your fuck up. If you fuck up badly, you
What
can
have I done?
send it in to us.
Oh.
Howard, you join me on this podcast, you might as well write about it in this section. You've
fucked
already
up.
fucked up. Shall we start this off with our first story?
Shall we?
Today I fucked up by mishearing something. What?
What?
Sorry, I misheard.
Yes.
So,
What?
what?
This is going to be terrible.
Spit mayonnaise. To keep a traumatizing story short, I was getting a root canal this morning because fuck me, and I obviously
Okay.
had my mouth numbed beyond belief. My dentist
I'm
was
pretty
poking
sure
around.
I'm pretty sure I can believe it.
Yeah, well,
It's a bit dramatic.
it is a bit. What is a root canal?
Oh, that's where they go in and. So you know what the root of your tooth is, which
the
essentially
bottom.
where it joins there.
Joins your gum.
It's where the nerve is essentially. So I think it's dental work done on a nerve.
Oh god, that must. Oh, I don't want to assume that. Take me back to eating salt. I'll
why-
eat salt instead.
That's why I have it now.
No, thank you. My dentist was poking around, hopefully in his mouth. In my mouth.
With his penis.
Towards the end. I said, get out, get out.
That's a B5. It's good.
He says, I'm going to start drilling now.
This is smart drill.
This is my penis. Drill.
Wink.
Wink, wink.
It's for...
It's his actual drill just going in.
and distraction.
Pocket sand.
It's in his eyes. Ah! There you go. You completely forgot all about the drilling teeth.
Oh, and he's dead. Get the salt. Oh, he died of
He's
natural
not slag.
causes. He came in with the salt in his mouth, died on my table. What
He
can you do?
assaulted me.
I'm going to sort you after that one. And I faintly felt his gloved finger on my half-numbed tongue. I was high as shit on nitrous, as it was. Talking about that, have you seen the clip of Ozzy Osbourne going in for a dentist appointment, and they
Pretty sure.
and they give him this gas, and he's taking more in, and he goes, "Are you all right?" And he goes, "Don't feel anything," and then takes more. I don't feel anything. And so then she cranks up to the max, and
I don't feel anything.
and it goes by.
No.
It just goes by, and once the procedure's over, he lifts up out the chair, and he looks like he's just seen a ghost. He's there going, "Oh my god," and he can barely walk.
Okay, now
He's like,
shut up.
"Shut up, this one really hit me." Don't know where I am.
Well,
You're not Sharon.
I think.
Where's my mouth? Take it out. So this guy says he was high as shit on nitrous, as it was. So I wasn't really paying attention when he asked me to bite down. Or so I thought. I thought he said bite down, but he actually said not long now.
What?
I
How
don't
did
know.
you mishear that?
I don't know how I completely misheard a
Not long.
three-word sentence.
Not long now. Okay. What? Why?
But I'm going to attribute it to the loud as shit dentist office pop music.
And the
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've also got a drill right next to your face. I think I'll allow it. And the fact that he had one of those blue masks covering his nose and mouth. So I bite down hard because it's just his gums. Because my mouth is half numb and I can't tell how much damage I'm doing to what I thought was some cotton or something. Turned out to be the dentist's fingered, gloved fingers. All I heard was, God damn it!
my everything.
And there was some commotion. And I hastily opened my eyes to see the dentist holding one gloved hand with the other, and the index finger exposed through the hole. I apparently bit in the glove. There was a lot of blood, like a lot. It turns out that I
Mine
got him
too.
really good. Yeah, my finger's bleeding as well. Just keeps going from one to the other.
I have a problem.
My cotton bud fingers taste really nice. It turns out that I got him really good on the side of his index finger with my incisor.
Oh my god.
And a different dentist had to come in and finish my root canal, considering I fucked up the other guy's money-making hands.
Sort the other guy out.
He has indestructible fingers. He's just got metal fingers. I'm used to it. I'm used to it, don't
The
worry.
guy comes out with his freshly done dental surgery, and the dentist comes up and fucking punches him in the face with his new metal pen.
Oh, God. That's what you
Breaks
get
all
for
of his teeth.
injuring me.
Oh,
I just laid in the chair crying and sweating, thinking just continues biting.
and the dentist is like, "You're crying."
Jesus, you should see the other guy.
I am the other guy. Ow.
My other finger. Thinking I'd be banned from the dentist office or like fined for battering my dentist. After the root canal, the other dentist came back in and thankfully was laughing, telling me that while he's been bitten many times in his career, no one has ever gotten him as bad as I did. Hell yeah.
Achievement.
I said, I'll be back next week to get your other finger. I fucking hate going to the dentist.
And they hate me.
Yeah, and incidentally, they probably hate you. That you're probably not their most preferred customer. And that is the end of that one. Howard, would you like the honor of taking over for our next story?
I shall. I'm going to move the microphone so it might make a noise.
It usually does make noises when we speak into them.
Actually, I'm just gonna, yep. And then, yep. Today I fucked up by accepting an extra shift.
How can that be a fuck up? Extra money.
Because
I died.
here's the story. I want to start by saying drugs, and they said I wanna, not I
start.
want to. I'm already triggered
Love this. I already love this story. Carry on.
because it's triggering Howard.
I love it. Mark that as well.
I'm just gonna start again.
You want to start again? Okay.
I've literally got one sentence in.
That first sentence was read so perfectly, Howard. Up until that point.
Today I fucked up by accepting an extra shift.
But how could that be bad?
Because story starts now. I want to start by saying drugs and drug use is pretty commonplace in the restaurant industry.
Yes, as condiments.
Yes, mainly alcohol and cocaine are the most common
As condiments.
as condiments in the restaurant industry.
Restaurant industry. Love that industry.
So, assuming he's talking about quantities of drugs and alcohol, one to wind you down after work and one to get you going for a rush. Other drugs are not hard to find.
So he's basically just saying you can either do one thing or the opposite. So you can either wind down after work and chill out, or give yourself a massive rush. So he's just.
It sounds like
explaining-
he likes to get home, wind down from work, so he has maybe a drink, and then he
snorts a
snorts cocaine for a rush because you work weird hours.
probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
I
you
would
want to go out after work or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's
I
like 11
assume
o'clock
so.
at night, and you're like, well, I'm tired.
A Red Bull is just not going to cut it.
Other drugs are not hard to find. Well, I was a bit of a hippie growing up. I'm talking white boy with dreadlocks that played bass in slightly psychedelic rock bands. So,
And played hacky sack.
with my teeth. So naturally, I started a pretty good
Sounds
relationship.
painful.
I started a pretty good relationship with hallucinogenic drugs, mainly mushrooms and acid.
Hell yeah.
My best friends. Mm-mm-mm.
Unless you're not of legal age to take them, then don't be best friends.
With mushrooms or acid.
As that is very
Find some humans.
yeah, probably a better bet. Who can get you said quantities?
Oh. Fast forward a couple of years, I'm out of culinary school and in my early 20s working away for a restaurant that had one of the best kitchen crews I've ever had the pleasure of working with.
Hell yeah. Oh, just on this
Doing all
topic,
right.
just to take this completely off topic, if Jon Favreau is killing it at the moment. I don't know when he bought out the show, but there's if you've watched the film Chef, there's a show that this isn't sponsored or anything. This is just
A recommendation.
a recommendation. If you like cooking and stuff like that, I'd recommend watching the Chef show, which is him and the person who taught him how to cook on the film Chef, going around and just cooking. And you have people on there like I've watched 2 episodes. There's been Bill Burr, there's been Gwyneth Paltrow, there's been Robert Downey Jr. and
if you
Spider-Man.
if you like that show, I've got something for you. In the early 2000s, he did another show, Jon Favreau, where instead of cooking, they would sit down to meals,
Okay.
and he would have actors and directors on and stuff. Kevin Smith been one of the regular guests on the show.
Nice.
But essentially, there was a show in the early 2000s. It's on YouTube. All the episodes are on there. It was called Dinner for Five. Because he would normally host. They would go to a restaurant, so they were all filmed on restaurant locations. And they would all order food, and in between the takes, they would eat, and then you would kind of see them at the end of their starter, main, and dessert, and they would all just talk the industry.
That's awesome.
And it's a really good source for industry knowledge because they talk about a lot of stuff that is boring to most people, but interesting around a table full of actors and directors and
That's awesome.
composers. And
I will
things like
have to add that to my list to watch. Thank you for that.
So multiple recommendations
Multiple
for Jon Favreau
recommendations,
properties.
yep. And The Mandalorian, which is
We didn't know.
looking-
We haven't seen the
looking
Mandalorian.
like
we haven't
a-
seen the Mandalorian. We can't see the Mandalorian.
it
Wink.
looks like a very good show from
Wink.
a distance that I have not
Thank
seen any
you.
footage of apart from anything that is on
Thank
YouTube.
you.
And
Even though it's been totally, if I haven't watched it, it's been completely fucking ruined for me already
yes,
by the internet.
by my own eyes,
So maybe I went and found
it's a good
it.
show. Go watch it. With money that you can pay to America,
Somehow
Disney,
VPNs or some shit.
the legal
Moving on.
way. Let's get on to something more illegal.
Okay, so I'll go back a little bit. Fast forward a couple of years, I'm out of culinary school and in my early 20s, working away for a restaurant that had one of the best kitchen crews I've ever had the pleasure of working with.
That's nice.
I got the rare Friday off, so I start making plans with my buddies to take the day for a much-needed mushroom trip, as I hadn't done them in a couple of years.
Hell yeah, you gotta take a yearly mushroom trip to reset the old noggin.
Bill Hicks would recommend it. Around 2:30, we take our dose, about 5.5 grams each. That's quite a good, hefty dose.
Quite a nice little chunk.
And start waiting for them to kick in. Now, for anyone who's ever done them, they can take from anywhere to 45 minutes to an hour to kick in. So me and my buddies are just smoking weed and playing video games.
The dream.
The Dren. About 40 minutes after taking them, I get a call from work.
The dreaded call.
So-and-so has cut his hand pretty bad, and we need you ASAP. Poor so-and-so.
Yeah, poor son. What an awful
Or an
name.
unfortunate name.
I know, yeah.
So being the good employee I am, and totally forgetting I'm on mushrooms, I say, yeah, no problem, I'll be there in 30 minutes.
Oh.
I get off the phone and my buddy asks, dude, what did you just agree to do? Without missing a beat. Oh, I'm going to work, guy cut his hand. Dude, we're like 10 minutes out from tripping. Oh, fuck.
It will make the food more delicious because it
What
will
is food?
enhance it.
And why do you people require it? Why am I here?
What is this paper?
Why is your eye dripping off of your face? I'm going to need to just put that back. I panic briefly, but remember past experiences of friends having bad trips and calm myself down. Knowing we have a good crew, I'm thinking, shit, maybe I can just hide down on the fryers for the night or something.
An easy. You don't want to be around very hot liquid.
Oh dear.
Oh gosh.
I get in, not tripping too bad yet. Colours are brighter, and I've got a warm feeling in my stomach. Okay, I've got this. So I stroll over to the
Famous last
reservation. I've got this. I haven't got this. So I stroll over to the reservation book, about 150 people between 6 and 8, right in the middle of while I'll be peaking.
Oh no, so it's not a slow night.
Oh, he's talking about the mushrooms. I thought he was just going to be sticking his dick out.
No. Just peeking over the top.
Okay, I'm fucked.
Yeah, oh my gosh, 150 people booked in.
Underestimated the evening there a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Fuck.
Oh, what is this? Like a Saturday night or something stupid? It probably is if he's taking mushrooms.
Well, yeah, it was Friday, wasn't it? He's got the Friday off.
Oh, then why the fuck did he think he could do this? Like, if you've worked in restaurants, like he said at the beginning of the story, yeah,
that seems very busy.
Yeah, you don't. No, not a Friday, you idiot.
Do it on a Wednesday.
What the hell? Oh dear. So I get onto the line, and it turns out I'm working saute with a guy I'm in sync with. So we barely have to talk. So I'm guessing they're just syncopated with their work.
So he just is.
They can just
So the
kind of get
line-
on with it without having to. You don't even. It's one of those things where you don't even have to communicate clearly. So it's like you just kind of do the thing, you pass it on to the next person, they do the next thing, and it moves on.
Oh, so it's like a conveyor belt. sort
Yeah.
of,
So
the food.
if you both know what you're doing, then generally conversation isn't required, which is good if you're on mushrooms.
I suppose so. Yeah.
As we get into the bulk of the rush, I start. Sorry, I've skipped a bit there. So I asked to take the easy job of setting up the pans and plating. Figure I'd set myself on fire if I was the one cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. Smart choice.
Yeah.
Very responsible.
You tend to be
Yeah.
very mindful when you're on mushrooms. As we get into the bulk of the rush, I start tripping harder and harder. Things look like they're breathing. Getting minor hallucinations.
I mean, I hope the other people in the kitchen are breathing.
It looks like they're breathing. I better stop that. As we get into the bulk of the rush, I start tripping harder and harder. Things look like they're breathing. I'm getting minor hallucinations in my peripheral vision, but I'm keeping my shit together.
Oh, I couldn't hold it any longer. Oh God, I'm going to start breathing again. How weird.
At about 7, we are just flying. Food is coming out so well, and the guy calling out orders is keeping everyone motivated.
I'm sure he is fucking flying as well.
And he says, "Holy shit, the saute boys are killing it tonight."
Did the head chef say that? Or,
Yeah.
Oh my God, nice. Whoa, well done, dude. You're gonna have to go in.
Oh, sorry, guy calling orders. So that's the guy who's essentially taking orders from people and then coming up to the window. And
just
I'm guessing
shouting
in this day they just did, or whenever this is, they don't use machine tills. They probably just shout the order out.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, imagine that. You have to remember it.
No, you probably write it down immediately.
Oh.
I can't contain myself, and I just burst out laughing. Everyone looked at me like I'm crazy because I'm laughing at the fucking saute station.
Everyone else is completely silent.
As I'm laughing, I managed to say, "I'm on fucking mushrooms, man,"
Oh,
which sends the whole kitchen into uproar and can be heard from the dining room. Word got round quick to everyone, and they are all making fun of me and pointing and laughing. Word gets to the owner. He comes back and takes a look at me and asks the board caller, "Has he been putting food up?" "Yeah, he's been killing it." "Then I don't give a fuck what he's on. Just keep killing it."
nice! That's awesome.
Rest of the night goes smooth, or so I guess. It wasn't much of a fuck up in the end, but it was a hell of an interesting night for sure.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
That is a good end to that story. So he managed to destroy it.
He was just killing food all night.
He was the one just going
He's
around.
just stabbing at plates.
I got fresh meat. What is it? Oh, stick it in.
I think it's Terry.
Oh God, he called in sick. Yeah, he did. Well, about calling in sick out. Oh, these segues are just getting me.
Swagway.
Our next one is today I fucked up by going camping while sick. So, this happened quite a few years ago when I was around 16, 17 years old. Not me, the person. My friends had planned to go camping in a really cool spot, which is basically a hillside underneath an abandoned fort facing a harbour. Going back to food and talking about camping, I feel like I'd always want to try cooking without sort of being in a kitchen, sort of out wherever. Not sort of a barbecue, but maybe having a barbecue. You have sort of a barbecue. You have you can take the portable hobs with you and stuff like that. Take those out and just cook without a kitchen. I feel like cooking without a kitchen would be such a great experience. Never done it. I haven't really even been camping, to be honest.
We could figure something out.
Do a Clueless Internet special.
I've done enough camping in the past to know what as long as we had a camping ground, I could sort this out.
That would be awesome. I'd love to cook out in wilderness, and see what that's about.
I could show you the ropes.
Show me the ropes.
But after doing it once, if it rains, you'll probably never want to do it again. I'll guarantee you that.
Probably, and I'll just never leave the house ever again.
It's been long enough. I haven't done it since I was like 15 or 16, so it's probably been long enough for me to enjoy it again.
So what you're saying, Howard, is we are going to do a Clueless Internet camping special.
I don't know how we would record that.
We'll find a way, or we won't, and we'll never talk about this again.
Yay!
Unfortunately, on the day I woke up really sick and told my friends that I won't be making it. They went mental and started doing all they can to convince me to come, because I was bringing one of the 2 tents. Somebody could have come and just picked it up. At first, I did not budge, but then one friend's girlfriend texted me saying that they need to have a responsible guy with them and that you're the only one that's reliable.
But I wanted to get off my tits.
This seems a bit weird, but somehow inflamed by my 16-year-old ego, and so
They've just been inflated.
Exponentially. Might I say by somebody else's girlfriend? So don't make a move, homie. So I agreed to go, even though I was still pretty unwell. Already dark as it was in November, which we've just left.
And we were going camping.
Yeah, at night. I packed my bags and planned to go and meet my friends when I realized a message from one of my friends asking me to bring scissors with me. Cutting
ropes or some shit.
Yeah, true, I guess so. You'd think of that beforehand. I thought, great. They'll set up the barbecue before I arrive and then open the packing of the sausages, burgers, and we can eat. And thought nothing of it.
Nothing.
When I arrived at the hillside, my friends had already started smoking, and the 4 of them were all pretty high already.
And had done nothing.
Yeah, the camp was in ruins. The tent was down the river. Swimmingly.
Just killed a rare frog.
Oh, no.
We're trancing about in the river.
God, it looks like Hypnotoad. So, when I arrived at the hillside, my friends had already started smoking and 4 of them were already high. I started setting up my tent next to theirs when one of them asked me for the scissors. I was like, cool, we're eating soon then. But why haven't you started a fire yet? And he goes, that's not why I asked you to get scissors, silly. And crouches down and starts cutting LSD in half.
Oh.
Into halves. It is important.
So they've got their priorities straight.
Yeah, fuck you, dude. I just need the scissors for that. You ain't eating. It is important to mention that I had never smoked, even cigarettes, nor taken drugs. So my reaction was, what the hell is going on here?
To be honest, if I wasn't feeling that, I'd have been like, well, you guys are on your own. I'd have just gone.
Yeah, I would have just
Fuck
been
this,
like,
mate.
fuck, yeah, this is...
You could have at least
This
waited until we
sucks.
got in, like, all settled in, like, everything, like,
You know what I mean? You could have waited for me
Maybe
to
then
come.
I could have been the responsible adult, but you're setting me up to fail here, so I'm just going to bounce.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
They had planned to eat then have the LSD, but then change their mind as I ran a bit late.
Idiots.
Yeah. I tried to set up my tent while they were joking around. The area only lit up by a small lamp and the moonlight and the lights from the harbour. So, so he said it's only lit up by the small lamp, the moonlight, and the lights of the harbour, and also the floodlight we bought and the sun. Suddenly, everyone starts going berserk. One of my friends starts screaming that he can't feel his hands and that he's cold. Another one started...
Probably because it's cold.
I mean, you're outside.
It's the middle of November, you dill.
Jesus Christ. Another one started doing a plank and throwing dirt on him, trying to bury himself, while the third one started crawling at the bark of a tree, saying that there is a man trapped inside. The fourth guy was laying down as he had crutches and was smoking a joint calmly. So he was all right. He was on his own. Whereas you just got these three other
guys are
mentalists.
weird.
I'm going to go. Bye. I started panicking and gave one of them a chocolate. Maybe the LSD was acting quickly because they hadn't eaten or something. I literally had no idea how to deal with side effects of LSD and was just improvising.
This is how you do it. You don't. You just leave them to it.
Just bye.
It's their own fucking fault.
Yeah, I mean...
They had a sensible idea at first, and then they fucked up because they couldn't wait an hour or two.
Yeah, five fucking an hour
I was
or
about
two.
to say 5 minutes, but it takes longer than that to
5
cook a
hours
burger.
or 2. While I comforted the guy, saying he couldn't feel his hands. Oh, bless this guy.
Don't comfort him, he's an idiot. It's cold.
Yeah.
Tell him it's
cold.
cold.
My hands are cold.
It's probably
It's
cold because
okay.
it's cold, and you can't feel your fingers because that's the LSD.
Yeah, and
You can feel your fingers because it's a psychological effect.
just comfort him, saying summer's coming soon.
Yeah, you
in
clearly
6
can
months.
feel your fingers. Your subconscious is translating that into the fact that it's cold, but for some reason you can't quite distinguish that because you can't feel your fingers. Well, it feels cold because it is cold, and you can't feel your fingers because you just took acid. You moron. Now calm down.
Okay, no, I'm not on acid, but I feel like that would be a lot to process at the time if you got told that. So, suddenly the guy burying himself woke up and started running up the hill. Now we were camped.
I have ascended.
We were... Look how small you are down there. Just starts tumbling down. How did you all get so big? Now we are camped under a fort, which had a 4 to 5 meter deep ditch around it, surrounded only by a wire at knee length. I quickly dropped everything, then sprinted to stop the guy, as there wasn't much lighting, and he surely would have fallen. Just seen what happened. Should have just left it, seen what happened. Take bets.
It's for science.
This kept on going for a while. Gravity
Bets
does
for
work.
science.
Seems like it's working. This kept on going for a while, although in a slower fashion. They were burying themselves slower, apparently. And in the meantime... Unfortunately, the last guy didn't fall in slow motion. That was a big bummer to me.
It's hilarious.
Are you okay?
I don't really care.
Okay, same, great, fine, bye. And in the meantime, I managed to cook some food, and they eventually got to their senses. As soon as he cooked some food, this guy sounds like a saint. Lozenge.
Lozenges.
Yeah, sure.
Do you mean sausage? Maybe.
No. Lozenges.
Lolly.
I ended up sleeping in my tent by myself since I was sick, and they hotboxed their tent. Fuck, this guy's a saint. This guy's putting up with a lot of shit. The following morning, I woke up and went for a walk around when it suddenly started pouring. I ran back to my tent, but suddenly realized that I'd only set up half the poles the previous night, as we were camped on a hillside.
And all my things are drenched.
Yep. A hillside. Water started accumulating on the upper side of the tent, and it started rushing through the old seams of the tent door. I ended up trying to chuck water out like a captain on a sinking ship, and got all my belongings soaked while my friends were sleeping in their newer tent.
That ship sunk last night.
Unfazed. Yeah, this sounds like the worst trip ever.
For this guy.
Yeah, oh my god. How many friends were in that one tent as well? That must have been a bit
Oh,
crazy.
let's kill them all at once.
He's just,
Set
I
this
hope that's
tent on
flooded as
fire.
well. He's just grabbing
Damn, it's raining.
a handful of water from his tent, just coming and like throwing it in theirs. Soon they will realise. And so, yeah, all his friends were sleeping in another tent, completely unfazed by the whole experience. Luckily, my parents came to pick me up shortly after, but I was sick for days after and never really went camping near that fort again.
No.
I wouldn't have really gone camping with those fucking...
Sound like a bunch of dills
like
to
dill
me.
holes, yeah? Jesus, I would not want to camp with those people. Imagine... I'm getting... My blood is boiling just thinking about that one. That just sounds like... Yeah, I'm with you. I'd just fucking pack up and go
Man, I
home.
would have gone that night, man.
Yeah, same. Gee, he must be very close with these people. So, what's our next story, Howard?
Is this the final one, or?
This is the final story.
The finale.
The finale. Probably haven't saved the best for last, so we'll have to find out.
Today I fucked up by jacking off. It appears you've saved the best for last.
I have done my due duty. Congratulations to everyone here. Let's do this.
Okay, so this fuck up has been several years in the making and will require some exposition.
Hell yeah. I love it when stories do exposition. That's when you know it's going to be good, when they've got to set some shit up.
Maybe I should. So David Attenborough would be appropriate, but I don't think I can do him.
Hello. This...
Not to get too personal, but I've kind of a thing for pin-up girls.
Oh, I do.
Especially
On
when they
birds.
have thick red lipstick and strong curly black hair.
Hell yeah. Oh my god, I actually just remembered what this story's about. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
So about 6 years ago, when I was 13 and staying in my grandparents' on my mum's side for a little bit, while my parents were going through a messy divorce.
Oh. In the grandparents' house?
My grandparents only had dial-up at the time, so
Peasant.
I didn't really have interest or anything to entertain myself with, since my Xbox was still at home with my folks.
Oh, so this was when Xboxes were... How long did dial-up go for?
I'm not sure.
A long time, I see.
I have always been a bit of an insomniac, and still am.
Join the club, my dude.
Well, one night, while my grandparents were fast asleep, I started digging around through the closet of the guest bedroom. Just
As you
because. Just because.
As you do.
I happen to be a curious little guy.
I happen to be 37 years old.
I come across a trunk with a bunch of old shit in it, like
A drunk?
newspapers, clippings. An old trunk.
Oh, I thought you said an old drunk. I was like, what's he doing in the cupboard?
Uh,
I cut him open and inside...
I cut him open and slept in there for the night.
Oh,
He was very warm.
call me Bear Grylls.
Okay. So, I come across an old trunk with a bunch of old shit in it, like newspaper clippings, letters, comics, and bank statements
A bunch of my old nan's shit.
from forever ago.
What? How insulting is that? I opened a box and it was full of jewelry and shit that I hate because...
A bunch of old shit.
What an insult to his own grandma.
My grandparents are first-rate pack rats. I don't know what that means.
Gangsters.
Oh, anything physical they could save, they did so.
So a hoarder, not a...
Mm,
On a lesser scale, I assume.
On a
'cause
lesser
he was
scale, I
able
think
to get
it's-
to the cupboard in the first place.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
I have a ball going through. Sorry. I have a ball. Ooh, I didn't. Not. I have a ball, and I'm
Just
going through
one.
so much of this old stuff. So I had a ball going through this old stuff, noticing all the different types of handwriting styles, and laughing at the old funnies until I find the holy grail of old items, funnies and old comics from newspapers,
Like Garfield and stuff like that. Little strips.
Little strips, yeah. I find the holy grail of old items. Granddad's porn stash.
Oh.
Vintage pictures of pin-up girls about the size of a picture frame.
Oh, wait. What size picture frame, though? That's a bit
Unspecified.
obscure. Yeah, that's a bit obscure. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I've got this penis that's the length of a rope. How do you know how long the rope is? You'll never know.
Wah, wah. There was about 3 in total.
There was a gimp-man in there.
Yeah. There was about 3 in total, all of the same woman. 2 were in different outfits. 1 where this gorgeous woman was winking.
So everyone was in different outfits. You just said 2 were in different outfits. So then
So there's 3 in total. 2 were in different outfits. 1, so it's the same woman, but 2 of the pictures were in different outfits.
Oh, I thought you meant 2 of the covers. I was going to
And-
say, well, that means all 3 have different outfits on.
No,
Presumably.
no. So it's just two pictures had one outfit and one picture had another outfit.
That's me being stupid. I'll back it up from this one.
One where this gorgeous woman is winking, and one where she's blowing a kiss to the other. To another.
To herself.
Wait, what the fuck? Okay, I'm going to start this whole sentence again. It's a confusing sentence. So, there were about 3 in total, all of the same woman. 2 were in different outfits. 1 where this gorgeous woman is winking, and 1 where she's blowing a kiss, and another where she's pulling down her fishnets in a coy yet panché manner. I fapped to them all night long until my dick burned from the friction. No matter what strange porn I could find on the internet in the following years, none would ever come close to this sultry broad with her curvaceous body. It's because you were a teenager, you dildo. As you get older, like, it all gets less
Everything.
and less. Everything gets less and less.
Anything
Including
with a slight curve.
Including your orgasms get less. Just everything gets less and less as you get older. Like, everything was more amazing when you were young because you were young. Jesus Christ.
So you might as well just give up now. You've hit your peak.
Yeah, people are always like, I'm trying to recreate something from a child. Well, don't. You're a grown-up now. Get over it.
You'll ruin it. It's gone.
It's gone. It's in the past, and it's never coming back.
As will you be in time.
Well, anyway, let's get to the fuck-up. You didn't need to abbreviate that. It's a very short... I was tugging my meat to my glorious pin-up girl just earlier today, and I was feeling adventurous.
Oh, so this is the next day.
I suppose so.
Or one of the days
He doesn't
afterwards.
specify. There's a problem with the storytelling narrative in this.
Unreadable.
Anyway, let's get to the fuck up. I was tugging my meat to my glorious pin-up girl just earlier today, and I was feeling adventurous, so I was doing it on the couch in the living room.
Oh my... I'm hoping at night so that it's just not... People aren't just walking through going, "You all right?"
And since my now single mom would be working, I would have the house to myself.
Ah, okay. Well, there it is. His grandparents have just miraculously disappeared.
Yeah,
as well.
so I think
He's killed them.
we've leaped forward in time, I think.
He's killed them.
Because he was like, I've never found anything since that's been as interesting on the internet. So he's like, this is leaping forward in time. He can't get off to anything other than pin-up girls now. So he has to, I'm assuming he has old pictures of pin-up girls that he jerks it
All
to.
preferences are born at some point.
Yeah. Oh,
More
no,
power
wait,
to
no.
you.
He's just stolen the 3 pictures.
Oh,
Okay.
he's stolen them? He's a thief!
So I have the 3 pictures spread out all over the couch, and I'm close to reaching climax. I'm sweating, I can feel my face flushing, etc.
Etc., etc.
I basically lose all concept of what's happening around me, and I don't even notice that my mom came home early. I saw that
no.
coming.
Oh, no.
We're not surprised.
Yeah, we're not surprised, Howard. Totally not surprised.
She immediately starts screaming at me for masturbating on the couch. Well, of course she did. And I forget all about the pictures and run right for my room.
Forget what I'm masturbating to. Thin air. Thin air.
I put some clothes back on and skulk back out of the... Why are you skulking, you dildo? You were just caught doing something you shouldn't have been doing. It's all her fault.
How dare she come home early?
In her own house. Meh.
Hate her.
I put some clothes on and skulk back out of the room, not knowing what the coming punishment is. Gross. All I hear is crying, which is strange because normally she'd be yelling in a scenario like this.
Some people cry afterwards.
Ooh. I'm kind of worried because she never looked over more defeated. You've broken your mother's heart.
Oh, no.
I go to console her and try to apologize, and she just pushes me away and says that I'm sick and I need help.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
I say, Mom, it's
That's a bit harsh.
It's just masturbating. It's perfectly healthy behavior for someone my age. I'm sorry I was doing it on the couch. It won't happen again. She says it's not that, and she demands to find out where I found the pictures of her mom.
Oh!
Instantly, my world is shattered.
Oh.
I had never been filled with more disgust in myself as a person. I contemplated several forms of self-extraction from this reality.
Oh.
Not all of us can be Jeffrey Epstein. Well, good.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank God.
He was a fuckhead, among other things, and have... Jeez, I can't even finish my sentence. and
It's
have
taken you aback, hasn't
other
it, this
people
one?
do it for them. I try to explain that I found them while staying at my grandparents' house. That just makes it worse.
Oh my gosh! Oh, so they'd moved out by what? They had moved out by this point? Oh,
No, he had been staying at his grandparents' house. Now he's back at home with
now
his
he's back
single
home.
mom because
Oh
they
my
went through a
God.
divorce. That's why he was at his grandparents.
Oh my god!
Then she accuses me of having a fetish for my grandmother.
So she thinks that he knew?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I plead my case that I honestly thought it was a porn stash and that she's
Well,
not.
it was his granddad's porn.
Well, she's not having any of
Someone's.
it. She demands I move out before the end of the year.
How old is he?
Wasn't he 13 at the time?
Fuck! Oh no!
That's where I'm at. I'm still trying to deal with the emotional trauma of having my first sexual experiences with my own body to pictures of my grandma.
Oh.
And now I have to find a new place to live because my mom is convinced I'm some weird incest-obsessed sexual deviant. I've tried contacting the last known number for my dad, but I'm still waiting to hear back.
Oh my gosh!
Well, that's what you get for snooping in other people's shit and then stealing their things.
Your grandmother's pictures, like,
I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure the only person to blame in this is you.
oh god!
I'm sorry. There's no way out of that.
Do you reckon that she had some likeness to herself back then? Like,
Doesn't matter. Don't go through other people's
Oh,
shit.
God.
Don't masturbate to their stuff, and especially don't take it home for yourself.
yeah. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. You little thief. Little
Hey,
thief.
fuck you.
Death penalty.
No, not death. I'm pretty sure his punishment is that he's
He's
suffering
jacked
this.
off to his grandma.
Yeah, but like,
And death.
Don't try to make out that I should feel sorry for you. You are living your punishment.
Until you die.
Maybe
'cause
you can
death.
move in with your nan and granddad again,
It'd be hard to look her in the eye after that one.
or anything.
Oh god. Oh no.
And that's the end of the story.
That is the end of the story and the end of the podcast. I want to thank
Get
everyone
out of
for
my
listening.
house.
Yeah, get out of here. We all see. Put the porn down.
Go home. If you're already home, shut up.
Then shut us off. Well, you can in a minute. Thanks for listening to the episode. You can check out all the links to the stories at cluelessinter.net. You can follow us at cluelessnet. Email us at podcast@cluelessinter.net. And we'll be back in 2 weeks where I'm going to actually try and get a lot of Christmas-themed stories for next week. I'm going to try and trifle through and get some good Christmas stories. So it's a Christmas-themed episode. Unpredictable at all. And thanks once again for listening to us ramble on.
And Merry December the 7th.
Merry way
8th,
before Christmas.
when this comes out. Bye.
Bye. I am lost as it happens.
Totally fucking, I don't know why I went in the kitchen. I thought there was something in there I needed.
To get the things.
I don't know why, you know. I can't be bothered to try and close that door again. It's right, bastard.
Episode notes. What episode am I on? 12.
You're in the fucking number 12.
I am on
there.
number 12.
How
I'm
did
gonna
you
move
start
that.
recording? Oh, you've got the arc.
I did it myself.
Like,
I did it myself.
You did yourself.
I did myself.
Gross.
This is how we do it.